Hey guys, this is Alex Serpentine back again with another video from my Dragons or Obstacles series that I'm doing, which are from the Michael teachings. I made a video a while ago going through each of these all in one video. There's 7 of them, 7 different dragons or obstacles. But now I'm doing videos just focusing on each one of these alone and going more in depth into them. So this one is the obstacle or dragon greed. And all this stuff is mainly taken from this book, Transforming Your Dragons: How to Turn Fear Patterns into Personal Power by Jose Stevens. It's a fantastic book. It's one of a kind basically. I don't really know. I think there's one other book called The Archetypes of Fear that goes into these dragons or obstacles as they're called. But this book is really good because it goes really in depth into each of them. It gives you kind of like a questionnaire and how you can figure out your own dragons. And usually we have 2 different dragons. So you can look into this book and then identify which dragons are operative in you. So yeah, most of the stuff is taken from this book. So let's get into the details of the greed obstacle. The definition of greed is the fear of lack or of not having enough to satisfy one's needs or desires. It's a fear pattern that expresses itself in addictive behavior, hoarding, coveting, amassing, or depriving themselves and others. It tends to fixate on food, power, sex, wealth, or something specific. As children, they were abandoned. So basically, when you're a kid, how this forms is not getting the warmth and attention that you wanted from your parents, and so they just didn't give you that, and you felt kind of deprived. It's like you're lacking something, and then it creates this feeling like there's a hole inside, and you basically try to fill it with different experiences, which are basically substitutes. All the things we listed here, like food, power, sex, wealth, or other things. And so there's a pattern of trying to get so much experiences and amassing and collecting things or engaging in certain experiences. And then there's a tendency to want to deprive yourself of that because you feel guilty for engaging in it too much and indulging yourself too much, where you kind of disconnect from that and try to not be engaging in that. And so sometimes that can like manifest as like anorexic or bulimic patterns, different things like that. So that's the definition of greed. In the Michael teachings, they have a positive pole and a negative pole for each of the dragons or obstacles and every other overleaf that's in a Michael chart. So the positive pole is the best manifestation of how you can relate to this pattern, and the negative pole is the worst manifestation of it. So the positive pole for greed is appetite. It's a strong desire for experience or abundance, driving proactive pursuit of what one needs or wants. So it kind of encourages you to go and have enthusiasm and having experiences or developing abundance. That's the best way to look at it in a positive light. The negative pole is voracity. It's an insatiable and excessive craving that disregards the needs or well-being of others. So those are the positive and negative poles. The external manifestation of greed is selfish, grasping, hoarding, depriving, oral, possessive, stingy, devouring, unquenchable, avaricious, voracious, gluttonous, tight-fisted, mercenary, covetous, materialistic, anorexic, bulimic, promiscuous, and amassing. The internal manifestation is deprived, hungry, unsatisfied, craving, ravenous, desirous, feeling empty, insatiable, denying, fearful of losing out, horny, and envious. So you can kind of, from all those keywords, get an idea of what greed is here. So, like I was saying, these obstacles or dragons develop in childhood, and there's a certain sequence of steps that you kind of go through in developing into taking on one of these obstacles as a kid. So, step one for greed is abandonment and deprivation fuel the children's hunger. Step two is the children accept substitutes for affection. So instead of getting the direct love and attention from your parents or whoever it is, you start to look at other things to fulfill that feeling of lack inside. Step three is the desire for the substitutes takes over. Step four, the children feel entitled to the substitutes and blame others when the substitutes do not satisfy. And the pattern is that the substitutes basically never satisfy. Step five, acquiring the substitutes reminds the children of deprivation. Step six, the children focus on what is missing rather than on what is available. Step seven, the missing objects are never found. So you kind of get this feeling, an understanding here is like it's something you feel like you need or want to experience or have in your life to fill up that feeling of lack or emptiness inside. It's kind of like a feeling of lack of love, and no matter how much you engage in trying to fill that up, it never really satisfies. So that's kind of the pattern here. So in the book with the steps of development, Jose Stevens has these quotes that are basically a reflection of the belief and decision that's made on each of these steps. Step one, life is about wanting relief desperately. Step two, the real thing is never going to come along. I'll take what I can get and pretend to like it. Step three, by collecting and hoarding this, I will never be hungry again. Acquiring is a relief. Step four, I have a right to what I'm missing, and I don't care who pays as long as I get it. It's their fault that I am hungry. Step five, whatever I get, I won't like. It isn't the real thing. I need another one. Or there's the opposite, which is the self-deprivation version, is I quit. I'll do without. You see, I need nothing. Because you feel so bad about your desire for more and more that you try to just completely disconnect with that and act like you don't need anything. Step six, whatever I have is not what I want. Other people have what I want. I'll have to take it. Step seven, if I tell the truth, I will have to admit that what is missing in my life can never be found. It's better to lie to myself. So there you go, some more information on the steps. So in the book, Jose Stevens has outlined the stages of maturity, which are related to the soul ages in Michael teachings. So the soul ages are developmental stages that we go through in our reincarnational cycle. And in the earlier stages, we're not as aware and conscious of these patterns behaving in us. But as we progress through our soul ages, we start to become more conscious of these things operating in us. And so it manifests differently on different stages. So I'll go into what he outlined in the book here. At the infant stage, there's ruthless, savage survivalism, prioritizing personal gain at any cost. At the baby soul stage, there's addiction and local corruption, engaging in unethical behaviors to satisfy immediate desires. At the young soul stage, there's hoarding, amassing, and flouting, accumulating wealth and flaunting it to assert superiority. At the mature soul stage, there's jealousy and a hunger for love, desiring emotional fulfillment. At the old soul stage, spiritual materialism. They're insatiable seekers of experiences and knowledge. So I made some videos about the soul ages. You can go check that out if you don't know what these are exactly. But that's just an outline of how these manifest at the different levels, the different stages. So here's some affirmations from Jose Stevens' book that you can use to overcome the greed dragon. I have everything I need or want in order to be happy. I love to share what I have with others. The more I give, the more I get. I thoroughly enjoy everything I have. I am confident enough to face my sadness. I no longer feel the cravings I used to have. I am powerful and no longer need to blame others for anything. I am completely satisfied with what I have. So sometimes in the greed dragon, there's feelings that somebody else will provide what you want or what you need. But then when you're using these affirmations or overcoming the greed dragon, you get more into the attitude of I'm abundant and I can give, and as I give, I get more back. And then you can also feel like I can satisfy myself and get all my needs met within myself alone, instead of feeling that other people are in control of giving you what you feel like you need. So those are some affirmations that you can use to overcome the greed dragon. Jose Stevens also has what he calls 7 weapons that you can use to slay the greed dragon and each of the dragons. Weapon 1 is acknowledge that the greed dragon is a problem and get help. Weapon 2, recognize your greed's fixation on substitutes such as food, power, and sex. Weapon 3, end the search. Surrender. Face your feelings of despair. Weapon 4, recognize your true source of satisfaction. Weapon 5, learn to give to others. Give up blame. Take responsibility for your life. Weapon 6, be kind and generous with yourself. And weapon 7 is recognize what you already have. Enjoy your wealth. There's also 7 exercises that Jose Stevens outlines that you can do to help overcome the greed dragon. Exercise 1, identify the object that you crave. Exercise 2, make a list of everything you've already accomplished. Give something nice to yourself that you have always wanted. Make a list of everything you think you need in order to be happy. Make a list of all the things that you won't let yourself have. Closely examine an object that you crave and seek help from a professional. So some of these exercises are making you more aware of these things that you feel like you need or that you're lacking. And so when you become more aware of those things, you can learn how to provide those things for yourself and feel fulfilled because you're more identifying what you want and need. And sometimes there's a feeling that you won't even let yourself have what you want. So part of overcoming this is allowing yourself to have what you want and not depriving yourself of it. So those are some of the exercises you can do. And that's everything I wanted to highlight from Jose Stevens' book about the greed dragon. And like I said, this is from his book, Transforming Your Dragons, How to Turn Fear Patterns into Personal Power by Jose Stevens. It goes into great detail on each of the 7 dragons, which I just basically outlined in this video for the greed dragon, but I'm making a video on each of the different dragons. So if you want to hear about the other ones, you just go to my channel and you'll see what else I have going on that you can learn about and find out which dragons you possibly have. We usually have 2 of them. Sometimes it's 1. And in rare cases, there's 3. But yeah, like it's super helpful to know about these dragons because when you overcome them, it can really change your life and improve your life in big ways. They're really difficult patterns and it takes a while to get over them. But by understanding that these are there, you can start to really overcome them and work with them. So that's the purpose of making these slides and and sharing about this stuff. I just feel like this book is super important for people to read and to learn about these patterns. So thank you so much for tuning into this. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. And I have some other videos on this series that you can check out, 6 other videos. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys